Welcome to this video. This is Christian from Beyond Premiere, and we have the first episode of Better Call Saul Season 6, where Kim and Jimmy hatch a plan to go against Howard, Nacho is on the run, and Lalo starts investigating. Let's break down episode 1 of Season 6. Now, the first episode begins with a team taking everything from Jimmy's house, all his ties, and I just love how they're in black and white first, and then they begin to go into color, bringing what we can expect from this episode. Now, the song that we hear in the background is Jackie Gleason, Days of Wine and Roses, which is the episode title. So this team is taking everything from the house, all his shirts and his MBT shoes, which is from this particular scene.
Pow!
This is from Season 3, Episode 9, where he has a plan for Irene. We can see that he kept 2 boxes from the many he bought. We also see this famous hat from the commercials next to the shoes as well. And this scene showcases the growth of the character from a small closet later in the episode to now a huge one. We also get all his medication as his alias Saul Goodman, and we get to see some of the medication. And as we know in Season 5, Episode 3 at Nacho House, we briefly see a television commercial for this medication, which is now a non-existent medication. Now we jump to another room where we see H. Wells' The Time Machine, a book that is generally credited with the popularization of the concept of time travel, as we know by using a vehicle that allows an operator to travel and selectly forwards or backwards in time, which is something the show has done in an excellent manner. We travel in time to the life of the character in different moments. Now the book also represents the consequences of one's actions. Now this reminds me of a scene where Mike tells the character of Jimmy about the consequences I'm taking those actions. This is from the scene, is from episode 9 of Season 5.
Make our choices. And those choices, they put us on a road.
As they take every piece of the house, literally, it can mean how piece by piece and step by step, they're going to find the character of Saul Goodman.
Bye-bye!
One of the things that is taken away is his car, the white Cadillac, with the license plate of Lawyer Up. This, of course, was a big aspect of the character in Breaking Bad, and now it's taken away. I love how the poster of the cutout of the character is thrown to the trash as a way of how his identity and representation of the character is thrown as well to the trash. Now, episode 1 begins automatically to what happened to Nacho after the team entered the house. We see him running to the woods, and he hides from some workers, and in this moment he receives a call. The call is from Mike and instructs Nacho and what to do and to be careful as he's in Salamanca territory. He asks if it's done, and Mike confirms that Lalo is dead, but we know that he's not.
It's alive! In the name of God!
And during this conversation, Mike is giving instructions, something the character knows to do so well. Now Salamanca is physically injured after the fight, and he goes into Sylvia and Mateo's house. He jokes about Mateo that looks like CC Top. This connects to a song that was in Breaking Bad episode 3 of Season 3. Now this scene shows the power of Lalo. He goes into his house, sees the guy, and he goes to shave his long beard. And this beard took a long time to grow, so it shows how powerful he is, as in a way Lalo is your idol. Now you think that something is going to happen in the scene when he takes the scissor, but as we know, he later used it on the coyotes. Just a way how the show can build tension. So we cut to Saul and Kim at the hotel, which the characters decided to stay, and Saul is already awake. It's during this where Kim mentions that 20 new clients from Grant. This was the conversation that they have in the last season, and as we know, those cases and clients are pro bono. Now in the apartment, now they get ready, and he takes some of the money from the $100,000 that he had to suffer last season. The mug that has been a big part of the show since the beginning, and now in this episode, we can see that it's thrown to the trash. We can see that this is not the only thing that has been thrown to the trash. Now, Kim is one of the things that fits in his life. And I love how this part of the show that has represented a lot is through the trash. In a way, how Kim removed those things from his life and she threw them away. So what's gonna happen to Kim? Now, this end scene is reminiscent of that of Season 5, Episode 3, as they start with a close-up and they start zooming out to reveal what's going on in the scene. Now, in the house, the twins find the body of what they think is Lalo after the events, but as we know, it is not Lalo, and they went to show the respect, and they're angry as well, and they're pissed. Gustavo receives a call from Juan, and he notifies everything that has happened, and during this, he has to act as he doesn't know nothing. Love the scene and love the acting, and he says sangre por sangre, which means blood for blood. This is, of course, the Salamanca way, as they will want to get revenge for the death of Lalo. This, of course, is by hurting Nacho. Now Gustavo asks who did this, but it's not pointed at him. He answers some Colombian, etc. And that they know that Nacho is a rat. Gustavo being the rat, really? And working with Nacho, this scene was one of my favorite this episode. Gustavo has to be careful, and I just love how he was the one that did it. Now Mike goes to his house, and Gustavo has his suspicions. He says the mercenaries were killed, but the mission was a success. It just doesn't make sense. Because of this, Mike says that loyalty goes both ways. In the courthouse, Jimmy tries to avoid the detective, while they ask for Lalo as he disappeared, and how he has $7 million in bail just like that. Did the detective know or have suspicion that the family is fake, something that happened in the last season, and they will look into it. This for sure is a setup for the next episode. Also, this scene showcases how Jimmy is such an incredible lawyer, except the part where he says Lalo's name. But he's able to correct it real quick. In a courtroom, he sits as a way to take a break. Jimmy arrived to El Camino, yes, the famous name of the spin-off film. We know that Jesse will appear in this season, so let's see how everything will connect. But as we know, El Camino means the way, and it's the way how the show will go this season. Also the phrase to the vintage Chevrolet name, the car that Jesse is seen driving away at the end of the Breaking Bad series finale. Now here Kim is working on a juvenile case, and she says it's her favorite day as she's doing what she loves. Now I love the conversation as they know that they want to do another office, and Jimmy says a cathedral of justice, and that they want to look something for Saul. And this scene is in a way is for Kim to look out for Jimmy, so he's doing something. Now remember that they have a plan to go against Howard, and in this scene they hatch a plan to hurt him in a way. Now this scene where she's talking to Jimmy about a possible car that he should drive, this as we know is his future car that she's in a way hinting at, and that is a car that he gets, which is the white Cadillac that at the beginning of the episode is taken away from him. Now cutting to Nacho, he continues to run, drinking old water. The police or Eladio's men are looking for him. He gets himself to a motel, and this scene she doesn't say a word, but gives him a key. Here he waits until Mike arrives, but Mike calls and tells him instructions on what to do, and just to stay there as there's a price on his head. Now Mike in this episode is with his granddaughter, and he ignores the call from Nacho. Now the last two things of the episode is where Jimmy goes ahead and plants some powder to Howard, and this scene as a whole is absolutely hilarious. Of course, this is the first step into hurting Howard. This is when, of course, the character of Clifford noticed this, so he has his suspicions. Now, of course, the last thing of this episode is the character of Salamanca as he arrives to the border as a way to get himself into the US. Here he calls Hector, and Hector has an idea and starts spelling the letter where he says prueba. Salamanca says there's proof and he knows where to find it. And this is how the episode ends. Now Salamanca denies not to go and he asks for his money back. However, he goes and eliminates the man, and he makes sure everyone gets their money back. Salamanca takes the truck and will find another way to get into the US, but for now he will follow that tip from Hector. That's how episode 1 ends. What are your thoughts? I cannot wait for more, as Lalo is looking for revenge, and I cannot wait to see that. But my name is Christian from Beyond Premiere. Hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.